Do you want to know everything there is to know about Miami, Florida? Subscribe below and tap that bell for notification, and you will be the first to know about everything happening here. It's too loud. My name is Elvira Knips. I'm the host of this channel and a local real estate agent. I've got you covered. If you're coming from the next town over, from across the country or across the world, and you would like to move in 3 days, in 3 months, or in 3 years, email me, give me a call, send me a text, or even book a Zoom call. All information is in the description below, and I'll help you to find your spot in Miami, Florida. Today we are in Sunny Isles Beach. Look behind me, it's a great view. And I'll talk a little bit about the history of Sunny Isles. Just north of Miami Beach, tucked between the Atlantic and the Intercoastal, there is a stretch of coastline that's pulled off one of the most dramatic makeovers in South Florida history. This is Sunny Isles Beach. 30 years ago, you would have been hard-pressed to find a building here that reached about 5 stories. Now, it's home to sparkling glass towers with private elevators that open into penthouses 500 feet in the air. What was once little more than a sleepy beach town popular with tourists has rapidly transformed in a corner of Florida that receives global attention. Sunny Isles has a similar origin story to Hollywood, but experienced delayed development by comparison, making it a great example of impact that local circumstances can have when it comes to developing real estate in South Florida. 100 years ago, the land was little more than mangroves and marsh, but its potential caught the eye of a successful and driven individual. While on the boating trip in 1918, New York investor Harvey Graves gazed out at the pristine shoreline and had a vision of a city built directly on the water. Echoing Joseph Young and his dream city of Hollywood, Graves grandly and affectionately referred to his vision as Sunny Isles, the Venice of America. This was the roaring 20s, and developers and architects were dreaming on grand scale. After purchasing 1,900 acres, he built a wooden bridge from the mainland, dug canals, and cleared some land. But luck wasn't on his side to see things through. The hurricane of 1926 rocked the Miami area and quite literally washed away most of the progress he'd made. A few years later, the Great Depression was ushered in with the crash of 1929, leaving Graves unwilling or unable to invest any more resources into his tropical Venice. Whatever may have been was never seen through, and the land eventually changed hands. For decades, a place that could have grown into a community much like Hollywood ended up taking a more laid-back approach to development. Fast forward a couple of decades. It's the late 40s and the end of World War II. After years of rationing and a wartime economy, the middle class is doing increasingly well, travel is more accessible than it's ever been, and people are generally feeling pretty good about the future. In other words, you've got all the ingredients you need for a tourism boom, and this will end up making the first major chapter in the history of Sunny Isles. By the 50s, this stretch of Barrier Island had developed a new identity, a budget-friendly beach getaway for middle-class America. Collins Avenue transformed into a colorful strip filled with neon signs and themed motor inns. The theming got more and more elaborate as different developers tried to one-up each other, and people started calling it Motel Row. It was loud, kitschy, and fantastically unpolished. Venice this was not, but it was fun and charming in its own way, and successful for multiple decades. Time and style generally aren't friends though, and by the time the pastel charm had faded in the 90s, developers were starting to turn their eyes skywards. People came to the understanding that, in many cases, the ground the motel stood on had become more valuable than the motel themselves. This was also around the time I first moved to Miami, and I was living right in this area. Buildings were popping up that were 20 to 30 stories tall, which doesn't sound crazy now, but it was a huge and exciting deal at the time. And it won't take long at all before things ramped up even further. Between 2001 and 2020, the city issued over $6 billion in building permits. By 2015, there were multiple buildings pushing 50 or even 60 stories. Sunny Isles had transformed, particularly overnight, into one of the most vertical cities in Florida. This is all to say that real estate has always been an important part of the story for Sunny Isles, although that's now more true than ever. In the decades since I first moved here, it's become a magnet for international wealth, particularly from Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East. I think that putting so much emphasis on the real estate scene overshadows what actually makes Sunny Isles special, the people that live here. If there is one thing that Sunny Isles and Venice actually have in common, it's the diversity of languages you will hear on any given day. The Miami area in general is very multicultural, but modern Sunny Isles is almost inherently international. Foreign investment has played a large role in making the city what it is today, but its international spirit has roots all the way back in the 80s and 90s. All around are shops and restaurants that cater to an international crowd, and all you have to do is walk around for a few blocks to hear English, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, and Hebrew. Despite the towering, shimmering high-rises, there are still neighborhood bakeries, boutique markets, and mom-and-pop restaurants alongside the more upscale stuff. It's a place that blends global sophistication with unique local charm, and I'm being so serious when I say there is no other place on earth quite like it. And of course, there is the beach. No matter how tall and exclusive the towers get, the water remains the heart of Sunny Isles, just as it was always imagined. Despite the exclusive and luxurious reputation the city has in modern times, it's done a great job of protecting public access, wildlife habitat, and green space. Whether you're looking for a second home, an investment property, or a place to live the oceanfront lifestyle full-time, Sunny Isles offers rare value in an increasingly competitive market. If you like the video, please leave a like and give this channel a follow if you'd like to see more. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and stay tuned for more videos coming out soon.